the way that all of us relate to the world around us through vibration. Like, not something that I experience. Everything that I experience is about stories. I love stories. And I understand that when you tell a story, just like Maya Angelou said, words mean more than what is set down on paper. It takes the human voice to infuse them with the shades of deeper meaning. And that right there has been one of the quotes that has driven me in teaching and everything like that, right? Like, we can read a story, we can hear a story, and those are two separate experiences. And how that can magnify it. And I try to cultivate in my students, I teach English. And so what I try to cultivate in my students is, like, you need a bunch of voices in your heads. You need to cultivate all those random voices in your heads. Like, all the different little personalities, everything you can possibly imagine. So that when you're reading a text, you let them out to play. Right? And that, I tell my students, is like, when we really get into reading and understanding literature and doing the analysis, it's like sight reading music. Right? Somebody who understands sight reading music, I don't, just so we're very clear. Right? You look at that and you see all these little, squiggles up and down, all right? And somebody who understands it just goes, yeah, that's what Arkansas. And they just go right into it and they understand it and they get it. And it's like, oh, it speeds up here. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And it goes into all these things and then it builds and there's a crescendo and there's a this and there's that. And I ran out of all of the musical analogies I could give. And so, at that point though, when you understand how to read something that's written on paper, you start to be able to infuse it with the shades of deeper meaning. So coming back to Maya Angelou and that whole idea, I can't hear the vibrations in the world. That's some of the things I can. I see on the page and then on the screen. So I'll share with you a funny little, if you will, icebreaker conversation that I like. All right? Because it's not going to be the 3 songs that you like the most or something like that. But if I were to ask you to get to know you, what 3 movies should I watch? Like, what 3 movies are going to allow me to get you when I'm done? You only pick 3. You got to start working through your genres, whatever they might be. Right? And so I'll be vulnerable enough to tell a whole wide room my 3. If you were to ask me one-on-one, I'll tell you. So now you'll know me. Right? So my first one is going to be Good Will Hunting. Right? So Good Will Hunting, hopefully we've all seen it. Because that's going to be step 1. Watch Good Will Hunting. Right? And the character that is the central character is great and fantastic, but then Robin Williams as the therapist. And how I wish my whole damn life that I could have Sean as my therapist. Somebody who looked at me and got me. And even though Matt Damon's character could deconstruct every other psychoanalyst and everything like that, he brings it to this guy, and this guy just sits there and goes, we're just going to sit here quiet for an hour, if that's the thing. And waits. And then when he breaks, Matt Damon's character breaks and tells a story of a joke about 2 people on a plane, and the thing I could go for right now is a cup of coffee and a blowjob. And the steward just comes running from the back of the plane, and he goes, don't forget the coffee, And you laugh, and he goes, you've never been on a plane, have you? But the joke is best when it's in the first person. And that right there just breaks it all down. And there's so many other scenes in that I could go on about. But there's that. And then number 2, Fight Club. I am Gen X as fuck. So I'm going to have to go with Fight Club. Just because of so many other things. But you are not your khakis. You are not your bank account. You are not the car that you drive. All of the anti-capitalistic ideas that are there, and then the final denouement when it is him just battling his own internal demons. That he is both the protagonist and the antagonist. Brilliant! Brilliant stuff. And then finally, because all of our lives need a little whimsy, The Nightmare Before Christmas. For no other line than when Danny Elfman writes into a song, and I can take off my hat to recite Shakespeare in quotations. But no animal nor man can scream like I can with the fury of my recitations. And that right there tells you everything you need to know about me. All the vibrations and all the ideas. Thank you.